There are some fields in the planning user setup that require some extra attention because they're very smart and you need how to use them because they are a little special. So if we open a planning template for instance for simple MRP, and we could find critical items in all levels. Look at the template card here. We have some fields called would you run for all low-level codes, and would you auto-suggest quantity to order and auto-run carry-out actions. This means if we auto-suggest suggest quantity to order, it will take the suggest quantity to order template up here, which just look like when you normally run suggest quantity to order, but we have predefined different templates and you can build your own here, saying when I run from this planning template, take this suggest quantity to order template in here. And then if you set run carry out action, it will move the lines from the simple MRP journal or the direct replenishment journal and put them directly into the reverse planning worksheet. If you run for all low-level codes, it will plan in low-level code order, starting from low-level code 0, then 1, then 2, etc. And it will have to suggest quantity to order, and it will have to auto-run carry-out actions. So if you deselect this one, or one of those one, like this, if you deselect this one, it will also deselect the run for all low-level codes. Whereas if you select the auto-run next template in here, you'll have one where we use that. Let's just look at it here. The idea will be, for instance, on this one, it has auto-run next template. If you look at the template card in here, instead of planning all low-level codes with this template, so if we had a check mark and run all low-level codes, it will use one template with the same suggest quantity to orders, item filters, and so on, and plan for all low-level codes according to this template. With the auto-run next template, you can use template 1, transfer orders to safety stock, whatever it does here. Then you can say after that, suggest quantity to order automatically, carry out actions and put it in the reverse planning worksheet, and then run this template afterwards. This means you can set up a bunch of templates. So for instance, here you have production order to safety stock, it's the second one. Third one is purchase item. So with those 3 templates here, 1, 2, and 3, I can run this first, this afterwards, and this as the third one. This means if we take a look at some examples, if I look at my simple MRP, calculate simple MRP, if I just find critical items and I have no check marks in neither one or the other of all those auto fields, it will just show the lines with no quantity to order and doesn't do anything. If I run for critical items in all low-level codes, now it calculates according to, I'll just put a location code here. Now it calculates according to that template, that one template, first on low-level code 1, suggesting quantity to order, setting a check mark in the carryout, putting in the reverse planning worksheet, then calculating for location code 2, and of course on the template I've check marked the include planning lines functionality. So when I look at my reverse planning worksheet now, it's actually a true MRP. So the low-level code line, low-level code 0 lines is creating depending demand for low-level code 1, likewise in low-level code 2, and so on. So if I look at low-level code, the first line here, on my line, it has some components, and those would have been demands for the lower lying items in here. So this is using one template to drill down for this. And of course I have to check mark the include planning lines if this should make sense. Otherwise it wouldn't look into my reverse planning worksheet. Whereas if I run the calculate simple MRP and I try the other template saying calculate first, and this template, again 3 templates, if I look at my second one, show the template card, it will have to have a check mark in the include planning lines all, otherwise it doesn't make sense to run it as an iterative job. So if I take the first one, transfer order to safety stock, and I've defined some location on that one, calculating for location, it will calculate for those 4 locations, only for stock keeping units which are type transfer orders, putting it into the reverse planning worksheet, creating depending demand, and this is, by the way, calculating in low-level code order as well. Then it calculates on my production location in a template which is calculated in all low-level code template. As you can see now, if I open my reverse planning worksheet, it was all flown over here. The result will be I have my transfer orders first on the top, then I have my production order somewhere down here, and afterwards I have my purchase orders. So it calculates in a true supply chain order, even though it's a cross-location code. So you can see this is all location code production, whereas in the beginning it was the different other location code that I was transferring out to. Those are some special fields that you need to be aware of on the planning template. So auto suggest quantity, auto carry out, calculate in low-level code, and suggest or calculate automatically next template.